Good afternoon, my Facebook family and friends. It's Myra here again from the Love Zone, Browncherub's Love Zone. And I just wanted to jump on and do a quick little live, again, timing myself before I pop out and do the school run. And I just wanted to again, invite people to my social at the end of the month. That's what I'm pushing at the moment. The social is to go to Ming Moon's for Chinese and karaoke. It's for members of the group only, so if you are interested, if you're single and seriously ready to mingle and are interested in relationships, attraction, and love, then that would be a great event for you. It doesn't have to be just for people who are singles. If you are interested in those areas and you are in a relationship, hi Rachel, you are more than welcome to join us, but you do have to be added to the group first. Now, the group is free, but obviously socials and events will have a charge, and if you are interested in finding out more, let me know and I'll add you to the group and you'll find all the information in there. As you may or may not know, I have been sharing some lives over the last few days. I'm trying to do one a day, just a short little clip. And today I thought I would do my top 10 tips around attraction, relationships and love. So here I go. And I am going to look at my little sheet, so don't worry if I lose eye contact for a little while. So top tip number 1, know thyself. Now, that was all about knowing your likes and your dislikes, knowing what your standards are, what you would accept, what you wouldn't accept, and being able to voice that quite clearly. And I'm not going to go into each of these in great detail because obviously I have posted all of the videos I've done so far in the group, so you can watch them over, and they're also available on my main page. So the first one is know thyself. Know what you like and know what you don't like. My second one is you don't need another half. You are a full and complete person, whole and beautiful in your own right. You don't need another half or a better half. Your partner doesn't complete you. They should complement you. And I was saying in that particular video that your partner should be the cherry on the icing of your cake. They should not be your cake, and they shouldn't be the icing on your cake either. They should just be that last little bit, that last little element in your life that just complements you and just adds that little bit of extra value to your life. Number 3, if you start to date a person who has children, never try to compete with that person's child, or try to make your partner put you as a priority over their children. And I mentioned in that video that any person who has children, and if that person is a good parent, then their child or their children will have priority. Their child or their children should come first. And if you want to be a supportive partner of that person, you need to respect that relationship that they have and actually encourage it. And I also added that if that person has a child with any special needs or additional needs, then actually they should get extra points for that, because it's very difficult juggling children when the relationship breaks down and their parents aren't together. So that was tip number 3. Tip number 4, be kind and friendly always, because sometimes you can be approached by somebody who maybe isn't your cup of tea, isn't what you're looking for, and some people think that's an excuse to be mean or to be rude. And I was saying that, you know, if you liked somebody and you approached them and they were mean to you, it would hurt your feelings, and it's not a very nice experience. It can shatter people's confidence and self-esteem. So, you know, treat people as you would want to be treated. And even if you're approached by somebody who maybe isn't your cup of tea, you can still always be kind and friendly. And I also talked about how being kind and friendly is very, very attractive. So always try to be kind and friendly. Tip number 5, smile. You never know who's watching. And I was talking about the power of the smile, and this is one of the earlier things we talked about in the group. And I was talking about how smiling with the whole face is very attractive. It can light up your face, it can light up a room, it makes you look approachable. Smiling makes you feel better, which is a vibration that you then give off, and people will sense that, and this is very, very attractive. And I did say you're never fully dressed without a smile. So always try to wear a smile, especially if you're out and about trying to attract other people. My number 6 tip was get your shit sorted. Now, a lot of people have got skeletons in their closet, or baggage, or hang-ups, or issues that they've carried throughout life. And in that particular video, I was talking about, when you're going out to look for a relationship, it's not fair to expect that person to sort your problems out for you. Yes, the person should be there to support you and to care for you and to, love you and be considerate, but your shit is your shit, and you need to really sort your shit out so that when you go into a new relationship and meet somebody, you're not in that place. It makes people appear needy. It makes people, your energy can feel heavy for that other person. It can create secrets because you probably haven't dealt with certain things and you don't then want your new partner to know. It can make you edgy in certain situations and uncomfortable. Again, these are things that your partner might pick up. So go and seek the help that you need, in terms of, it might be a therapist, a counsellor, life coach, whatever, depending on your problem or circumstance. Again, I can signpost people, and I'm happy to talk to people about anything that is a main concern. But do sort the skeletons that are in your closet if you're kind of in between relationships. Face them, deal with them, and go into your new relationship with a nice, fresh, clean slate and a blank canvas, so that you can start to build something that's enriching together. My next tip was tip number 7, and this was talking about how men and women have a particular smell, and I was talking about how we have 5 senses, and a lot of people, especially when it comes to attraction, rely very heavily on sight and what they can smell. I talked briefly about the VAC system, talking about visual, audio and kinesthetic methods of learning, and how people have one that's going to be stronger than the other two. And oftentimes if you struggle with visual processing of information, some people are audio, and I was talking about closing your eyes, listening to the person's speech. How does that make you feel? The tone of voice, the timbre of their voice, the pattern of their voice, the quality of their conversation, their vocabulary. My husband was told once that he, by a wonderful, wonderful lady who's very educated, that she liked his diction. And I myself like men who are very articulate and well spoken, and a lot of people are attracted to people who are well spoken. So sometimes it's a matter of listening as well. And then there's the kinesthetic, which is about people who are very touchy-feely, but I will have to speak about that in another video because I haven't touched on that yet. So you've got look, we talked about looking, we talked about listening, there's the touchy-feely, but I've got to come to, and then there's taste and there's smell. And I was talking in that video about being attracted to somebody's scent, and I was talking about trying not to use too many artificial scent or fragrances or perfumes or aftershave when you're out and about trying to attract people. And oftentimes when we're going out, that's the time that people really go to town with the fragrances. And I said, I'm not just saying going out smelling frowsy or funky or pungent. It's more about trying to use neutral smells, maybe just one smell, because oftentimes your deodorant, your lotion, your perfume, your fabric conditioner are all different scents. So when you wear them and when you go out, your smell can be quite confusing. So try and stick to one particular scent. Like if you like lavender, try and make sure everything's lavender. If you like, I don't know, I used to like white musk from the Body Shop. I used to love that. Go with that. If you like cocoa butter, go with that. Go with the thing that smells that you like best, and just try and stick to fragrance-free or neutral smelling things so that people can actually smell you. And that sounds weird, but it can be very attractive. And just like bees being attracted to a flower, your scent can really spread. And I gave the example of a tracker dog and how a tracker dog can smell somebody's clothing and track them down. So, you know, the scent is very real and it's very, very powerful. So get to use it. The next one, tip number 8 was draw your line. Have your standards, have your values, have your what was the phrase I used? I was talking about knowing your morals, your ethics, know what you believe, what you stand for, what's important for you, and then draw your line and don't move, stand your ground. And, you know, if the person is in agreement with you, that is wonderful. If they're not, and you're finding that there's conflict there because they don't agree with what you agree with, or they don't believe what you believe, or they don't hold dear the things that you hold dear, then more times out of 10, it's not going to work and it's not going to be successful. And I talked about drawing that line very early on and using the conversation time with the partner to air some of your beliefs and your standards and your morals and your ethics to them right from the get-go. You know, and I wasn't talking about sitting them down and giving them a list of demands. It's just more about making those things become a part of your conversation on your first and second and third date. And that's really, really quite a crucial tip, I think. Tip number 9. This was my last live, and it was all rice is not created equal. And that was talking a little bit more in depth about a conversation I had with my 14-year-old daughter about sexual relationships and how when you're in a more meaningful, loving, committed, long-term relationship, the physical relationship is much different, much more powerful, much more intimate and meaningful than with somebody that, you know, you don't know very well, that you haven't taken the time to know, that you haven't invested any emotion or energy or finance or anything like that in. And so it's very, very different. And oftentimes people can get into a loop of settling and thinking that anything is better than nothing. And then they get to a place where they're just thinking, oh, it's not worth it, you know, what's the point? Because it's not satisfying or fulfilling or meaningful. But if you can find the right person and you can invest the time in that person, you'll find actually that it is rewarding, it is fulfilling, and it is very satisfying. And you can be very happy. And, you know, relationships do take work and they do take effort and they do take patience and persistence and all those things. But, you know, when you meet the right person, it is more than worth it. So that was tip number 9. And tip number 10, this is my last one, was exchange. You have to go out into the world knowing what you have to offer. And this is a part of knowing yourself. But know that you've got something to offer that is of value. People that you approach to share that with should consider that to be of value, and if they don't value it, you need to take your offering elsewhere. But on the same token, you need to be open to receiving. There's a lot of very independent women out there, and all power to them. I salute you. Like in the Little Mix song, salute. I do salute those women. But if you're looking for a relationship, be willing to receive as well. Be willing to let that person do for you. Be willing to let that person help you and support you and nurture you. And being vulnerable can be a bit scary, because obviously we don't want to be hurt, we don't want to be rejected, we don't want to be let down, but that can be alleviated by trying not to have too high of an expectation of other people, or making your intentions quite clear and letting the person know exactly what you need from them, and then just allowing them the space to do that in the way that they can do it, because not everybody loves in the same way, not everybody gives in the same way, not everybody cares in the same way, not everybody listens in the same way. So don't always expect your partner to reciprocate in the same way that you do, because it's very different. And once you can understand that, that might help for relationships to be a little bit easier. So I just keep checking the time. So if you are interested in the group, then do feel free to let me know and I'll add you, because there's lots and lots of video clips in there. And I have been doing some research with some celebrity relationship advisors, and I'll be posting my favourite top tips from them over the next few days, and then you can feel free to go on and watch them on YouTube or buy their books or what have you. But I'd just like to say thank you for listening, and if you could let me know which of my tips you found most interesting or most useful or most effective, then feel free to post below. If you've watched the video, then please, if you like it, give a thumbs up or heart. And as always, please feel free to share so that I can get the message out, get these events up and running, get the group full of fine, fit, fierce singles, and start doing some matchmaking and playing Cupid, because the sun's coming out, and I haven't been able to make any matches yet because I haven't got enough people in the group. So that is my my aim for the summer, is to get to my first Browncherub's Love Zone match made. Woohoo! So if you know any singles, let them know, and I will add them if they request for me to do so. So that's all from today. I am going to love and leave you, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Love and light, and namaste.